Final tour stop in this year's Super 1 Senior Championship is Rissington in Oxfordshire, the highest circuit on the tour, and weather-wise, host to the most miserable day imaginable. This is as cold and wet as it gets. And little to cheer the imagination either. In Formula A, Robert Jenkinson earned himself enough points early on to ensure he could pack up his bags and watch. And with Panrucker virtually assured of second, the final is all about the minor places. End of the hot lap and away they go. Panrucker number 2 on pole in Jenkinson's absence. Philip Charles 28 alongside, then it's James Wright number 5, Adam Jones number 8, Simon Short number 4 and Dean Hawkey number 12. And Philip Charles third at Wigan, immediately on the attack. He's passed Panrucker. Nice skills from the young driver who graduated from TKM only this season. A year of ups and downs, but no doubting his potential. He arrived on pole second thanks to a win in Heat 1 and a second in Heat 2. And incidentally, Wright number 5 you saw there is ahead of Panrucker. Philip Charles, 9th in the championship on 168 points, just 11 behind Graham Melville, who's 5th in the championship. So plenty to build on for next year for the Worcestershire lad. Number 8 going through was Adam Jones, 4th ahead of Simon Short, number 4. Number 2 you just saw, Dean Panrucker. And the first lap time, 40.94 seconds, is pretty quick on an almost dry track. In respect, though, we're only told it's temporary. The rains will return, and if that's before the end of this race, it will be interesting. They're all on slicks. Number 5, James Wright, championship 4th on 208 points, 29 ahead of Melville, and 35 behind Simon Short in 3rd. Through then at the end of lap 2, and the tempo raises just a little bit. 0.14 of 1 second, 40.80 is the new fast lap. Race order, number 28, Gary Catt leads. Number 5, James Wright second. Number 2, Dean Panrucker third. 8, Adam Jones is 4th. 4, Simon Short is 5th. 12, Dean Hawkey is 6th. Number 3, Graham Melville is 7th. Number 25, Stuart Turvey in 8th. Number 72, Lars Sexton 9th. And number 81, Lee Renison is 10th. End of lap 3, and the top 3 just beginning to edge away. It's a long and windy circuit here with little in the way of long straights to stoke up the momentum. And James Wright taking a look at Philip Charles, who politely says no. 40.8 seconds for lap 3, same as lap 2. Oh, and James Wright has clattered into Philip Charles, apologises as he goes on his way. Charles has stalled, and that will cost him an awful lot of places. Well, Dean Panrucker's the main beneficiary. He's the new leader, ahead of Adam Jones and Simon Short now, as they come in at the end of lap 4. And that really is desperately bad luck for Charles, in such good form. The opportunity to join the top 6 beckoned, but beckons no more. Number 3, Graham Melville, also picked up places, now 5th behind 12, Dean Hawkey. And the last lap time, 41.73 seconds, almost a second slower than lap 3. There's a surprise. Hawkey there up on Short, number 4. Daniel Barrett, good 24, and still there, about to be lapped by Panrucker, who's considerably quicker this time around. End of lap 5. 40.59 seconds, which is 0.21 of a second quicker than Philip Charles's flying lap on number 3. So the race order now, number 2, Dean Panrucker leads. 8, Jones is 2nd. Number 3, Melville is past Hawkey, and Short is 5th, with Turvey off-grid 12th in 6th. Well, all round safely again that time. Meanwhile, we can look again at Philip Charles losing the lead. James Wright, number 5, catching his rear bumper and effectively putting both out of contention. Back with the leaders, Panrucker and Jones opening up a gap of around 8 kart lengths. Doesn't sound much, but the way these boys race, it's a chasm. Number 3, incidentally, Graham Melville, another driver doing well off a lowly grid position, 8th in his case. He's now 3rd. In at the end of 7, 5 laps to go. Just over 3 minutes for Panrucker to finish off the season with some style. He'll be hoping, I'm sure, it will roll on to an even better year in 99. Stuart Turvey, 25, still in 6th, and will be happy with that. I'm pretty sure as well that's a season's best. Robert Jenkinson's decision not to race the final because he already had enough points to secure the title was a sensible one. Much as he relishes a good scrap with Panrucker, the risk of a black flag, DQ and penalties meant he could have thrown it all away. And it's definitely not worth that. End of 8, 4 laps to go, and Dean Panrucker, silver medal in the championship secured, is easing up. 40.59 seconds was his best lap. The last one over half a second slower, 41.11, with Philip Charles retired and Adam Jones content to consolidate in 2nd. The only real racing here is with Graham Melville, who will give it a shot whatever the situation. Number 12, Dean Hawkey in 4th there. And the race order with just over 3 laps to go. Panrucker 1st, Jones 2nd. Melville's moved up to 3rd, Hawkey 4th, and Turvey has passed short to take up 5th. Formula A, arguably the top karting competition in the British Isles. 100cc rotary valve engines with a 24mm carburettor provide the powerhouse. Very little restrictions as far as engine tuning is concerned, or chassis for that matter. Dunlop International tyres provide the rubber wear, and you must be 16 years of age or over. Those are the rules, and somewhere around 80 miles an hour is the top speed, so it's pretty quick. You also need a couple of eyes in the back of your head. It does help. They say there's no better place to race when you're beginning, and you've got to believe that. Tomorrow's racing stars come from here. They learn how to hone up the reaction times. They have to be minimal. Reflexes have to be instant. And concentration 110%. All you need, as I said, is a couple of eyes then in the back of your head, and you'll make it. Back to racing, Dean Panrucker leads, and here comes Melville with a bid for 2nd. Jones clatters into it, bounces off the rumble strip, and probably drops, well indeed he does, drop a place. Graham Melville then, started in 8th on lap 2, was 7th. Lap 4, when Philip Charles went off, he moved up to 5th. By lap 5, he was 4th. Lap 7, he was 3rd. And now with just over 2 to go, he's 2nd. Jones, having surrendered 2nd, is now under pressure from Hawkey. And it will all be fairly academic. Panrucker now well in front into his last lap. 200 metres to go. And he will win the final round of the All UK Formula A Championship from Graham Melville and Adam Jones. And this is how they finished up, with Robert Jenkinson in the end running out, and comparatively easy winner. He would put it by 1 point.
It's the end of the Formula A season for 1998. Dean, cracking last race. Tinged with disappointment perhaps for the championship?
Yeah, it was a good last race, but at the end of the day I was excited to win the race. I couldn't win the championship anymore, and yeah, very disappointing. But Rob had a better year, and he's drove well this year, so have I, but that's about it really.
So what about 1999 with Dean? Where does he go from here?
I think I'll still be doing Formula A again, and hopefully win it next year if I can.
Did you get the measure of this guy on your left, eh?
Yeah, he did well this year. He did drive very well, and it was a very close championship all the way through. And that was about it.
No need for you to go out in the final race of the day. Would that sort of ease the pressure a little bit, I guess?
Yeah, it would have been stupid to go out in the final race, because you never know what could happen. You could pick up a black flag, lose points and lose the championship, and there was no need to do that, so we just stayed in the pits and watched from there.
Had a few ups and downs this year, haven't you?
Yeah, we have. Yeah, it's been a tough year. We've been quick pretty much everywhere we've been. put it on pole or grid 2 in qualifying every time. But yeah, we've had our ups and downs. We've picked up a few black flags which perhaps we didn't deserve, and it's made the championship closer at the end. But thankfully, they didn't have too bad an effect on us at the end of the day.
Dean's been a hard nut to crack, hasn't he?
Certainly, yeah. He's been doing Formula E for a few years now. He's got a lot of experience and he's blindingly quick. But you know, at the end of the day, we just managed to pip him, and brilliant.
So Dean says he's probably at Formula A next year. What about you?
Yeah, I would probably think Formula E again. Either that or I would love to do Europe really, but just trying to find some money to do that. Either that or we've had a few offers to do Vauxhall Junior, but I'm not sure. We'll see what happens over the winter.
Gary, no final race for you today. You've done enough with 2 races to go.
Yeah, before the day started, Richard Starring could catch me, but if he dropped more than 14 points through the day, then he wouldn't be able to catch me anymore. And he had an off in his second heat, so that meant that I didn't have to go out at all for the rest of the day.
You sure about that, are you?
Well, yeah, we needed a few people to add the points up just to make sure, but yeah, we're pretty certain.
That's it. That's been a tremendous season for you, hasn't it? I mean, a few ups and downs at the beginning of it.
Yeah, it's been a good year. The first round was pretty poor, but it's sort of gone well all through the year, really, from round 2.
So where does it go for Gary Catt from here on?
Well, I'm doing cars next year, Formula Ford. I definitely miss karting, but hopefully I might be able to do the odd race. But yeah, and obviously if I don't make it in cars, then I can always come back to karting.
You looking forward to the Formula Ford thing?
Yeah, can't wait for it. Really looking forward to it.
You already had a go, haven't you?
Yeah, I've done quite a lot this year. I've done the Silverstone school, yeah, and it's been going well, so hopefully next year will be good as well.
Well, might see you on a Formula 1 grid yet then.
It might do.
Gary Catt was another driver with the season sewn up before the last race. This time it's 100 TKM and the rains have returned. But unfortunately not before the drivers were already out on the track, which meant all bar one were on slicks, and the race, regrettably, was not far short of a farce. The lucky driver whose crew got it right was number 40 Andrew Robinson, number 20 on the grid, and on any other day would have settled for a top 10 finish. But not today. He was presented with a golden opportunity. Number 30, Damien Tigwell, who won his first race at the PFI in the previous round, and number 0, Terry Langley, 11th in the championship, made all the early running between them, along with Oliver Scullion, 44, Jonathan Davis, 57, and David Morris, number 8. But it was all change on almost every lap as traction became a rare commodity and staying on the track an absolute luxury. Damien Tigwell's adaptation of the conditions, however, was a revelation. Slicks or no slicks, he began to piece together a rhythm that might have given him back-to-back victories. But watch out for number 40. Young Robinson was already up to 6. Unlike Formula A, 100 TKM, although still 100 cc's, allows no modification of either engine or chassis. And by using Maxxis long life tyres means it's the most affordable of all the senior classes and subsequently the most heavily subscribed. Something like 500 drivers compete for the 50 or so places available on the senior tour. Back to the race, and by lap 3 Andrew Robinson, number 40, was up to 4th, and it was still raining. Number 41, Richard Styron, however, was not doing so well. He needed to stay close to Tigwell in order to secure championship second, but he was 7 places behind, and with Tigwell pulling steadily away. By lap 5, Tigwell's lead was a good 60 metres, but it wouldn't last. Robinson was now in full flight. David Morris was another of the unlucky ones. This little incident, for which he could bear no blame, just about sums up his season. Every champion deserves and gets a little good luck. This year, he's had absolutely none. And every dog has his day too, and this was Andrew Robinson. The salute said it all, and he won the final round of the 100 TKM Super 1 Series from Damien Tigwell and number 53, Jamie Green. And this is how it all finished up. Cat got his sums right. Tigwell's late season flurry was rewarded with silver. Rich's Starring, in spite of the stumble, held on to bronze.
Well, the end of the senior TKM season, and Andrew Robinson, new hairdo and new run of luck, is it?
It most definitely. I firmly believe this haircut's worth 0.2 of a second a lap, and I think today has proved it.
Is that your first ever win?
It is my first ever win. It's my best ever Super 1 result. Everything was going reasonably well today, and we qualified at the back of the grid. And then my pro-train team and the team manager Gary Chapman made a very, I suppose it was a bit of a risk, but it was a well-informed decision. We suddenly changed to wets at the very last minute. We didn't even go out with the rest of the karts. And it was just a question of staying on, although at one point I didn't. And it was just hanging in there and waiting for the race to finish.
And that was it from another great year of Super 1 kart racing. Maybe not quite the final race everyone had hoped for, but a great season all the same.